terrible episode of Let's Go Hunt, the podcast loved and loving your mother. As always, we have Vince H, who needs to do something somewhat normal, Dave Packard, who is headed to the ghetto tomorrow. I thought that said something else. Mike Gonsalves, who's apple jelly, cracker having ass as long as we're in Louisiana. And I am Sam Alexander, who just flat out forgot what the hell I wrote for an intro. So,
but
that's something to. Oh wait, no, it was something about starting the first lithium fire in a century to burn down Yellowstone to its caldera. It was a lot funnier the first time.
Was it headed to Gelato tomorrow?
No, I have to go do Aurora.
Oh, good lord!
Which is not only Aurora but Colfax. And if there is any more infamous road in Colorado, it is Colfax, because that's a ghetto.
You're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a big truck, so hopefully, hopefully it's fine.
A trucker's never died in the ghetto before. Like, not since
no, but he has gotten laid in the ghetto. Dave, introduce our guest, since this is your doing, which I approve of.
Yes. So our esteemed guest this evening, who happened to come on in like the last hour, is Coy from the Off-Road Podcast on the Firearms Radio Network.
Well,
how goes it, sir?
It's going good. Luckily, my life is boring and pointless, so I was able to just jump right on. So.
That's depressingly familiar.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Been watching you guys for quite a while, so it's nice to finally have you on.
I'm glad. Thank you for watching and listening. And I as well have learned a lot from your show, like that there is a plethora of camels out there.
Right.
Begging to be evaporated.
I was about to say, you were so full of shit if you learned anything from us. And then the camel thing came up. I was like, okay, that's the one legitimate fact that has been passed down in the last year.
Yeah.
I was going to say, oh, that's neat. Someone learned something.
I was unaware of Australia's camel problem.
Oh, so were we, until Dave was like, hey, you need to go check out this dude on YouTube who goes out and kills camels. And the way he first described it, I thought we were talking about some kind of 20-year-old who lives out in the outback with his mom, who runs out the back door barefoot with an Enfield. Not quite how it works, but there's an absolute fuckload of camels there, that's for sure.
Absolute slaughter.
Dave, is your studio on fire, or are you vaping or something?
No, it's my anti-cigarette.
Okay. I was like, hey, man, you need to check fire.
We were just talking about that damn swamp cooler next to the electronics.
It's fine. There's water in the swamp cooler, so if I do have a fire.
Oh, perfect.
Not just a pretty face.
Well,
so
if I was Mike, I would say tonight we're talking about vehicles, foods, and Operation Shameless Bribery, which I need to remember that. I'm putting this at the bottom. About shameless bribery, so I don't forget.
I mean, isn't all bribery shameless? It's like kind of just how bribery works, right?
So should I put shameful bribery? Like we're ashamed of this? Because I'm not ashamed of it.
I vote we change bribery to Mikeism.
I vote follow your heart.
Does that work? Has that ever worked well for you? I just, everybody always has these like sweet platitudes like, hey, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life, and follow your heart. Like, you just find out that it actually doesn't work out that well. Like, oh, I did something I loved and now I hate it.
I was about to say, everyone I've ever talked to who's like, yeah, don't make your passion or whatever your job, because then you'll learn to hate it. It's funny how everyone goes gaga over like gun tubers who, oh man, they get to go shooting all the time, and then you actually talk to one and they don't enjoy a freaking minute of it, because every round they expend is like, is the camera angle good? What am I reviewing this week? Does this gun suck? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
I mean, if you follow your heart when you're standing in front of a menu, that's usually a sure bet.
Valid.
That's because you guys are in your early 30s. You get closer to 40 and your stomach doesn't always agree with your heart, and you have this thing called acid reflux that just pops up overnight. And it is, I mean, I was an iron gut guy. I eat whatever I want, and then now I just throw back Tums like breath mints, and it's a battle between me and all the things I love, which is deep fried gas station food and horrible stuff. But I'm trying to win. If I stick with it for like these quotes we're talking about, like if I truly believe in myself and stick with it, I think I can just keep eating horrible foods and beat the acid reflux with just
that's
pure
hunting fuel right there.
Yeah.
See, what happened to me when I hit roughly 28 and 29 is I went from being able to eat the entire Taco Bell bricks and all to being like, what's this fucking like crap on my belly? But why am I fat now? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Bro, I was fat well before 28, so that ship sailed. But
see, I didn't. So my ship was good to go because I couldn't put on weight, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, what do you mean I weigh 200 pounds? Yes, I know.
What do you mean?
I don't call it fat.
I like how you think 200 pounds. Are you 5'1"? Like, are you the chick in the Mix-a-Lot song? Like,
I'm 6 foot, and I used to weigh basically 150 and couldn't put on a fucking pound after that. No matter what. Fucking lift weights, no big deal. Didn't do anything.
I'm 6 foot, and if I weighed 200 pounds, my wife would probably love me again. Like, that's a way down there.
Damn.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I haven't weighed 200 pounds since I was a freshman.
That's about 14s when I crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
And then we have Vince over here you think I was a toothpick. This motherfucker who's like, oh yeah, I used to weigh 130 pounds. Or something
okay,
like that.
Whatever.
Okay.
I've never weighed over 145. There, I said it.
Oh, you still weigh 130 pounds. My bad.
Yeah.
I like how you act like it's a bad thing. Like, that sounds awesome. Like, it's like I have friends that can't grow beards, and they're like, man, I really wish I could. I'm like, so you have a bunch of face maintenance that you have to deal with, or you just have this big food trap? No, I wish I had a baby face. It'd be amazing.
Oh, that's why I stopped growing my beard out. I grew it out 1 year because my brother was getting married, and it's like, I'm not going to your wedding clean shaven, so take that. And it was pretty good. And then I shaved it off after that, and I haven't grown it that long ever since. I grew up my mustache to annoy my wife, and then I got tired of dealing with that too.
Yeah, that's why I shave my head, just for the maintenance. It's not because I'm balding. I do it because it's cool to shave your head. So we're clear, in case anybody thought that I had male pattern baldness. I don't at all.
I didn't think that for a moment.
Yeah. I don't call it fatness. I call it leverage. Like, if you need a guy on a ranch, I'm your guy.
That's a good way to look at it.
I like it's the positive spin on obesity.
Yeah, if you need like a tilt deck trailer to go back to its level position or something, you want a guy with his own gravitational field up there, not some 130-pound guy. Like, yeah,
I just built a tilt deck trailer, so it comes in pretty handy.
Out of a boat trailer.
Hell yeah, I did.
Like Eddie trailer will do.
I think boat trailers
have wheels.
Commonly converted trailer. Like, a boat trailer has been turned into everything, but has a regular trailer ever been turned into a boat trailer? I don't
know. I've considered that. Like,
jet skis, maybe. Boats?
My parents have a Grumman sport boat from like the 1960s. Ooh. That is mine to have, but I just need to put it on a trailer, and I've considered getting like a small flatbed trailer and rigging up a rack on it for that. Just so I can
brand of the boat is Grumman's.
Yeah, it was a Grumman, like Grumman Aircraft Corporation. It's an aluminum boat. Yeah, it's an aluminum boat with a flat transom on the back that has 4 oar locks and also the ability to rig a sail to it. It is an interesting piece.
You're freaking...
So somebody was out there building some kind of 10,000-mile bomber, and then another department was building a sailing flat-bottom boat.
Well, no, it was post-war. it was post-war. Grumman started making things besides the things for the military-industrial complex because the contracts ran up. So they made boats and other things, but that was one of them.
And that's how they got the inspiration for the BU-2 Spirit. They're like, wait a minute, we just need to put wings on a boat.
Some fuckers cracking beer. Okay, hear me out.
It's better than Subaru.
They're over here like boat sand, what? I can't figure it out.
Like Subaru's out there like selling their whole like, hey, our vehicles are built with love and peace, and fit 10 golden retrievers in here. Also, secretly make attack helicopters that we don't talk about. But
the Prestige Worldwide shows up and answers the question for them.
Well, Mitsubishi's been letting us down for the better part of fucking 70, 80 years. Haven't built a Zero since 1945.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
If Mitsubishi came back and like, here's the new Galant, and it's really just a Zero fighter.
Oh, you know how much money? Yeah, well, I shouldn't say how much money but how much they could potentially make, at least in memes, if they released a civilian version of the Zero. Here you go.
I would like that if they did that. That would be cool.
So would I.
Especially if then it like made whoever made Mustangs and all the other, like they would have to answer that, by remaking some other World War II planes.
So
we have a civilian P-51.
So
then we have to set up like a laser tag version of some World War II stuff.
Oh,
so instead of
some Japanese guys gets angry and just rams this plane into another one, we're like, hey, it's not the rules, guys. I'm not supposed to do it that way.
So instead of having a retro rifle craze, we would have a converted, basically civilian reproductions of World War II aircraft. This is I'm on board.
I've always said when I win the Powerball, and I say when, not if, but when I win the Powerball and I'm, literally a millionaire, I'm going to buy 5 or 6 ultralights, and then I'm going to outfit them with some like Gatling paintball guns, and then have the world's slowest dog fights with my friends. I'll just be over some little town, some flyover state, some 700 person town, and they're going to look up at ultralights, just chasing each other around, just rattling off green paintballs.
Dude, you're going to have to get even at that speed, you're going to have to get like 6 feet away to actually hit somebody with a paintball. Like you're talking about something with a BC of 0.004.
That's fine.
It's gonna.
I could go airsoft. I'm not ready to step up to real bullets just yet, but we'll work our way up.
We need to go straight to 12 gauge. We need to go straight to 12 gauge rubber bullets.
God damn.
Now I'm just
all the
best part about having a paintball Gatling ultralight though is strafing people on the ground. Like obviously you do your dogfight, and then on your way back to wherever you're going to land it, targets of opportunity, World War II style. So
yeah,
I don't want to like violently injure them, just traumatically scar them.
I think this might be the best counter protest of all time.
Oh man. All the farmers around here that spray, they would get in flower bomb battles. So they'd go out and fly their planes around and either flower bomb tractors or everybody's shop or something.
You're
just
talking
little
about
sandwich bags of
flour.
Yes, sandwich bag of flour, and just like time it perfect where you could land that bag of flour on the roof of their shop and just kaboom.
That is hilarious, but the better you are at it, like when you actually do hit a person, doesn't it just kill them? Like
I haven't heard anybody actually get
doing 120 miles an hour inside of their back of their head or something.
Also, they were told that's a big no-no.
Well, you're going for the area effect, not the direct hit.
There's a video out there somewhere of some farmer and somebody brings him a Subway sandwich from like a Cessna, and he gets dropped by a $5 footlong. Like if you Google airdrop Subway sandwich, that video will pop up, and it's not a young man. The guy's an older farmer out in a farm field, and this plane flies by, and a Subway sandwich absolutely drills him.
Grandpa got taken out by a subway. I think that's what it's called.
Pinned to the ground.
Oh
his
my
great
god!
grandkid and his great grandkids are like, "Oh, I didn't know Grandpa went to New York." No, wrong subway.
The best thing is Fortunate Son is playing.
Dropped the sandwich off to him or something.
Look, if I could fly a helicopter, there would not be a second I was in it when I would not be playing Fortunate Son.
Absolutely. Oh.
Like rattling off paintballs at protesters.
It's that fucking
I would
Family Guy episode where they bitched about that damn song. Everywhere you went, that damn song.
I love that song, but like I'd have to loop it at like the 45-second mark because once we actually start getting into the words, not so interested. It's just the opening to that song that's glorious for me.
Yep.
Whatever. I love me some CCR. Now that we're completely off the rails and may have never been on them.
No, that's perfect. That's we just hit the 16-minute mark. That's our nice, slow, relaxed intro before we get to the dirty.
So that's
I want to really prime the listener's brain for how the show's going to go. You don't want to keep it too structured.
I think we're just weeding out the weak-minded at this point.
Yeah. Waiting for that guy with the monkey and the cymbals playing in his head. Just stand here.
Look, you put the play into a nosedive to see, who among these people's mamas raised bitches, and then you pull it up to the last second, and you see who's left on the aircraft and who bailed out.
Now that the cowards have departed us.
All right. Well, I suppose I'll start first then, because I probably have the most. So I went out and did lots of thinking today, which is very not healthy, which is why I'm drinking beer now. Coming up here in a couple of weeks is when I'm going to be taking my road trip with my daughter up to Yellowstone. And so not wanting to keep 3 to 4 jerry cans worth of gasoline in the camper shell with me when I sleep, I got a trailer hitch mount instead to put it all back there. Ooh, cool. You should be like Sam, though. You should be stupid. Assume that your truck has a 2.5-inch, hitch. What did you call it, Dave?
Receiver.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, you should not know what these words are called because you don't really care. And then assume it's 2-inch. Buy a 2-inch. Find out your receiver's 2.5-inch. Be forced to go buy an adapter. Feel like an idiot. Yeah, great. It was all fun. But that's in the back.
What's that little rack rated at, like weight wise?
500 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Which will get me through what?
How much fuel are you carrying with you?
A lot, dude. I'm driving a 2010 2500 Chevy Silverado. I need gas.
I know this may surprise you. They actually build these little buildings, and they're like a store. A lot of times they sell food, but they also sell various petroleum products, and you can just whip in and put almost as much as you want into your actual.
No, I only bring gas from home. No, it's more. So the real reason is, Yellowstone has however many gas stations scattered around it, but motherfucker, that place, if you're on the east side of the loop, you're fucking far from everywhere. And I'm paranoid, so I wanted the extra gas with me just to make sure I can get the hell out of that place if I really needed to.
I know that's good prep and planning, but you can actually get like a 12-foot chunk of clear hose, and then they call it a wobbler siphon tube, and there's almost as much gas as you need in.
Shut up.
That's plan B.
And it's not stealing; you're technically drilling for oil at that point. So.
Look, the hoses I carry in the back of my truck are for work purposes only. And that's
They're
all.
only for sucking golf ball through, not fuel.
But no, I'm going to throw, I have one wide mouth NATO can upstairs, and then I ordered 2 more that I want to take a look at. Vever, I should look at my own show notes. This is highly professional, motherfucker. Vever jerry cans, yeah. Got 2 of those on order to see what they look like. I know the Wavians are pretty much considered to be the cream of the crop.
Do you have the fuel nozzle for your Scepter NATO can?
For the big boy, no. I do the Vever, however the hell they pronounce it. I'm gonna say Vever. Those both come with one. For the wide mouth, it'd be a pain in the butt, but I was just gonna put a funnel in the smaller can, transfer, and then go into the can because I don't have the big ass wide mouth fucking nozzle.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It is. I got it at Goodwill because it was like fucking jerry can for $5. Yes. So
that way, if you need to stick a rag in one and throw it at the vehicle behind you, just use that one.
Well, the wide mouth will allow the fuel to disperse better. Yeah. But no, and I'll throw the cooler back there too. That way I can keep all the bedding set up in the back of the truck and just unfortunately have to take the jerry cans off of it to climb in the back. That's the main deficiency at the moment, but it'll be fine.
You can actually, do you have a receiver hitch on the front of your truck? You can get those. Then you could carry the fuel on the front, and then it's like a portable Pinto. You can just rear end people and explode the car in front of you as you wish. Like it doesn't have to be a lemon. All cars that you rear end explode.
It's like a way more effective Mario Kart.
It's a feature, not a function.
So this is the opposite of what I already considered, which is by having all this fuel hanging off the back of the truck, it might reduce the chances of getting tailgated. If you put it on the front of the truck, you may increase the chances of somebody getting the fuck out of your way if you tailgate them.
Just get one of those reverse decals, like you know how they have ambulance that's a reverse decal?
Yeah.
Just have one of those and say, yes, it's gas.
Well, you get the bright red cans at that point too. Just a solid rack of 8 of them.
To say these cans identify as water tanks or something like that. And it's totally legal.
It's just a solid rack of 8 of them across the front of the bumper.
Spicy water.
Yeah, we need some pyrotechnics up front too, just to really drive the point home. Like we need to like hood mount one of those X flamethrowers. I like this idea. Anyway, the other thing I was looking at too, I'll just keep going down my list real quick since we're talking about the truck. I was originally looking at I can't remember who made it, but basically a solar panel kit that would be an additional battery under the hood, and then it was this neat little solar panel that's cut to fit the scoop right on the little indent on the hood. But I think I am going to switch over to something that's a little more portable. Shields right now, I guess Go Zero has a big sale like for springtime, and so I was looking at their 500X for a battery bank, and then some kind of solar panel, either like a Harbor Freight special for 100 watt.
Go Zero,
sorry. Or is it Goal Zero? Yeah, it is Goal Zero.
Unless it's like a Chinese knockoff, like a Wish.com version of Goal Zero.
No, it's Goal Zero. I just shortened it in my head.
Okay.
Now I was looking at their 500X because for 25% off, it's like, it might not be able to do too much better than that price-wise.
Have you looked at any of the Zamp solar panels?
I have not. Previously I was really fixated on, that one that flexible one that fits on the hood would be nice because then it's just there the whole time. And then I started thinking about it some more. I'm like, actually, I would rather have it be portable so that if power goes out at the house, I can just haul the thing in the backyard and set it up to charge stuff instead of let me go plug it in the truck in and out all the time.
Also, it's nice if you're hauling a camper to park in the shade when you're in the hot, and then you can drag your stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought having it be a little more mobile would be a nice touch because I figured if it's anchored to the truck, eventually I'm just going to resent it. So, but no, the Goal Zero for the battery bank, and then what was that name for the panels?
Zamp. They're not going to be any cheaper, I guarantee you that. But they are high quality, and they're usually, if you have campers, the plug for the solar and stuff is already ready for a Zamp, and then most of the Zamps have a charge controller built to the solar panel.
Okay.
So, and then I have a Zamp, 80 watt. It's like a briefcase. It's all aluminum, super heavy duty.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can actually, since the charge controller is built into the panel, the plug also has an adapter to alligator clips, so you can just hook it straight to batteries and stuff.
Oh, price-wise, that's not terrible.
It not gonna be cheaper, like I said, but it is a really good solar panel and worth looking at if you have campers and stuff.
No, I don't have campers, but I do have the over the next couple of years going to be doing more camping out of the back of the truck with my daughter. Not necessarily like, ooh, let's go up to the mountains, go camping for a week, but like road trip camping, because I absolutely loathe going on a road trip. I like camping on the road trip to save money, and I just hate hotels. But I fucking hate going like, all right, we're here in the evening, set up the tent, go to bed, get up in the morning, break the tent down, and then leave. I'd much rather just go, okay, everything's in the truck, let's go. So,
yeah.
Gonna be doing that more with the kids over the next few years. And then I was looking, I didn't know this existed. It's funny how much, I was talking to my wife earlier about how much like cool shit exists now that didn't exist 10 years ago or existed in such a janky form that only weirdos did it, with like the big fucking solar generators. The ones where you daisy chain like 2 or 3 of those things together and you could power your whole house for a week. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then I mentioned to her that, I think it's kind of a trumped up statistic, but the statistic of, hey, if the US uses power for a year, 90% of the people are going to die. And then I watched her eyes go a little bit wide and go, uh-oh, I just made her paranoid. Sweet.
That's the best part about end stage capitalism. You get all the cool toys right before it all ends.
Right before the collapse. Yep. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm actually excited about this whole thing now because I was looking at the one that sticks in the hood going, well, yeah, it'd probably be cool. And now it's like, oh, wait a minute, I can pick it up and take it with me.
Were you talking about like a little lift or leveling kit too?
I was talking to you about that, about maybe doing a to level it out. I think it'd be a 3-inch on the front and then a 2-inch in the back. And that's totally truck envy because I go in Home Depot and notice all these new trucks are taller than mine. I'm like, oh, motherfucker.
Overland Depot will do that to you.
Actually, it's not that. Although, no, that's not. You would have much more thoughts on this than I do, but I swear I see all those overlanding rigs at Home Depot in the morning and go, do any of these people actually fucking take these things off road, or are they just driving to Home Depot and back home?
At this point, Home Depot is clearly a destination for a lot of these people. That, like, statistically, there can't be this many cool overland builds in the Home Depot parking lot all the time. So,
yeah,
or it's something that like their Home Depot's pulling an op on us, and they just have employees driving them between Home Depots to make us think that they're really cool and hip. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of cool in Home Depot.
Well, for me, I remember seeing like the plastic jerry cans that mount on the brackets that go through the center.
Yeah, the roto packs.
Yeah, the roto packs. I was like, oh, those
worst
are
gas
cool
can ever.
Well, yeah, partially. Yeah, they first of all, I knocked on one day and went, oh, that looks maybe not. But when I looked up actually how much volume they contain versus the fuel mileage on my truck, I was like, oh shit, that'll get me like 13 miles. All right, never mind.
Well, they traded roto packs. I mean, they look really cool. I'll give them that. But they traded like storage and storage versatility with like functionality, which in my opinion, in a vessel that's supposed to carry a liquid is not the best trade-off. So they have to be burped. If you actually look on their website, it's like over a certain amount of degrees or a certain amount of elevation gain, you have to burp them. Which, if they're strapped to your roof, you got to take it off, stand it up, crack the lid, put it back on. Otherwise, they leak whatever's in them. And a lot of guys put them on their roof rack. So if they're leaking fuel on top of your vehicle,
I don't see a problem here.
I've heard it's exciting.
Heard it's bad for the paint and other things. So,
well, I like the ones that are like 3 foot long too, because I'm imagining like, how the hell am I going to pour this in my truck? Like,
I kind of like the new giant loop ones that are like fuel bladders. Have you seen those?
I don't think I have. No.
Oh,
this reminds me of the Seinfeld episode though, where Kramer forms Kramerica Industries and wants to put the oil in a big bladder, so he gets a big rubber ball.
Yeah, they're these like bladders covered in like a Cordura, really heavy duty material. And then when you're done, you're not using it, you can just like roll it up, stick it in your toolbox. It's also kind of like, it's like Satan's water balloon though, you know, like I think there's other cool things you could do with it.
Oh,
okay. For very goon bag.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's like a camelback for a flamethrower. Sweet.
Exactly.
No, I had not.
It's like a really awesome bagpipe. You just squeeze it and it just.
Yeah.
I mean, those look cool. I would not freaking put one anywhere near me though, because
just think though. Have you ever used a stomp rocket before when you're a kid? Do you have those, or were you poor?
I mean, my kids have one.
Yeah,
I know
I was poor, but I buy my kids all the cool toys that I didn't have.
But I mean, your friend, if you're poor, then like your friend had one, and you got to watch him use.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have friends.
It's an American bagpipe.
Yeah. Yes.
American bagpipe.
That's a good show title. I like that one.
Oh, bagpipe, not big pipe. Okay, there we go.
Imagine like a bagpipe, but oil comes out of it instead of annoying sounds.
Whoopie cushion of death.
And you point it towards the ducks.
Whoopie cushion of death.
Are you trademarking over there, Dave? Are you trademarking?
No, I am writing down show titles.
We make it a team effort. We don't leave it up to one man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Although writing them down is usually Dave's job. No, Dave, I was looking at doing. It's actually not just truck envy. It's also I did take my truck basically to a shooting area, and there was one tiny sketchy part where it's like, am I with this fucking? Because I've got a extended cab 8-foot bed. I'm looking at the road ahead, going, I'm gonna high center on that, aren't I? I didn't, but it was a little sketchy. Having it a little bit taller might make me feel a little bit better.
What kind of truck you got?
2010 2500 Silverado.
Oh, there you go.
Is that torsion bar or is that coil? I can't remember.
2010. I think it's coil.
Yeah, coil.
I mean, you can get a leveling kit where you could fit 285s underneath it, like I did my Yukon. That'll
what
give you a
size
little
tire
more
are you running right now?
Whatever stock on it.
245, maybe a 265.
I will. Aggressive or just street tires? Or are they like a mud terrain?
They're all terrain right now. Yeah. All terrain is what I usually stick to. Because I put a lot of miles on the road. Like, my average mileage because of work is about 28,000 miles a year. So I stack them up. I don't buy fancy tires because I'll watch that aggressive tread just go whoop.
I can't help myself. I love tires more than almost anything. They just new tires smell so good. They're like socks out of the dryer. You know, just the best. I mean, tell you have to pay the bill, but I walk into a tire store and that smell hits me. It's like when a crackhead sees copper wire. Like, I just love it.
So for me, that's my local surplus store. It has there's no other store I've ever been in that smells like that store, but it doesn't smell like military surplus. Usually it does, because usually it's got it
smells like canvas and mold, bro. I've been to a surplus store. Like, I can tell you what it smells like.
No, this one doesn't. God damn it, Vince. This one does not smell like that, though. That's the problem. Other surplus stores do. This one doesn't. They put something in the air that's addictive.
What's the name of it? Because I have a thing about the name of surplus stores. They're so good.
It's U.S. Surplus, but have you ever seen Venture Surplus on Instagram?
I haven't, no.
Okay. They're all connected now, but it's just plain old U.S. Surplus.
I swear there's like a mafia that names all the surplus stores, because the one local to me was like Sergeant Gators, and all the ones around here have these crazy names.
I've got one that's half-ass local to me called Sergeant Mike's.
Yeah, they have the best name. It's like a bad superhero name almost.
Yeah,
ours are,
and it's in a smaller town than me.
We have Glenn's Army Surplus, U.S. Surplus. I think there's one called the Army Store. Oh, I think the worst one we have, they might not even be in business anymore, was Master Gunner Surplus. That's the worst named one we have, at least in the Springs.
Master Gunner. If I were you, if you put a lot of miles on the road, honestly, bigger tires are going to get you worse gas mileage.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're doing a lot of stuff where you think you might get height centered, there's really no way to get around that except for bigger tires or, more suspension. I would buy a 12-volt air compressor, and then if you can air down your tires to 10 psi, you can.
Yeah.
What you can drive through with 10 psi of air in your tires versus 50 is mind blowing if you've never done it before. So, and then you can also, like, if you have a flat, you can do a lot of other things with air compressor, and they're like $112.
That's been my past problem with airing down, is going like, and I can't air back up now.
Now what? 10 miles an hour to my next station.
I got unstuck. Now what?
No, you go like Ironman USA, get their like 5.5 CFN 12-volt air compressor. You just pop your hood, clip it to the battery terminals, and air those tires up and down in a minute or two. And they're literally, I don't know, $158 or something. Probably on sale.
I
Go ahead, Vince.
Don't think I had any. Sorry, Vince.
No.
I don't think I had any actual risk of getting high centered. It was more just my paranoia getting to me, because it's my work truck, and I'm constantly like, oh god, I'm gonna fuck up my work truck, aren't I?
Was it your personal work truck or like the company you work for?
Same. Because I am the company. I am the CEO, the janitor, and the guy who fucks up the work truck.
You're the employee of the month. Well then, bro, it's full shirt. Give it more gas.
I mean, that's my usual answer to things too. It's like, fuck it.
Hey, you got full coverage. Like you're basically just, anytime there's a potential hazard, there's a potential to get a new truck. So treat it as such.
Oh boy. Except for I've been in limbo for the past month and a half, not sure who the hell technically still owns my truck, if it's the fucking bank, if it's me, or if it's the credit union, because they kept fucking up all my paperwork, but that's a different story.
Well, easy fix to that, bro. Total your truck.
Nobody owns it.
Problem solved.
That's how we find out. I just shut off my monitor. That's fantastic. I unplugged it. Somebody talk while I duck under here.
So if I air down the road slicks in my Caravan, will that get me out of the mud that I was stuck in like last week?
It honestly might. When you say they're just worn out regular tires.
I mean, they're normal tires, but I was in a pasture and they were stuck on flat ground.
In that scenario, it honestly probably would. It really? Unless you dug down and sit on the frame, your surface area like triples. It's like, especially in snow, like if you were driving in snow and went till you were stuck and then you just dropped down to 10 psi, you would push snow with the bumper. So like it would blow your mind. Makes a huge difference. Obviously there's risk involved where you could pop the tire off the bead if you like turned a corner too fast, and then you would be in a bad situation. But if you're careful,
I'm just serious. Like, it was wet enough that I hit the gas and the tires just, I barely hit the gas. Like, I knew what was going on and it just went, and like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. Let me go talk to somebody, find somebody who can pull me out.
Yeah,
and I pulled out by somebody with a surplus Hummer.
Sweet.
I have a passenger vehicle getting stuck in a pasture story. So we're out cruising one night, and we happen to go down to the canyons down here, just bebopping around, you know. And we were headed to this mine, and we're on this 2-track, and it had rained, I don't know, 1.5 inches, and we're in this Chevy crossover something, and I see the mud puddle, and I'm like, you might want to turn your traction control off, because I'm riding shotgun, because I was not in shape to be piloting. But we hit this mud puddle, and he tried to turn the traction control off, but it didn't happen, and we got buried. And I'm like, okay, I can get us out of this. So I go over to the fence, and I break off a wooden fence post and take some wire, and I wrap the wire through the spokes of the wheel and back onto the wooden fence post. So it's kind of like a paddle, you know? And it would have worked great if I was in better shape to do such things. And we ended up having to call my buddy. And he drove 2.5 hours.
Did you rip the brake lines off or just ruin the fender?
No, nothing, actually. It scratched the wheel a little bit.
What I prefer to do if it's not my vehicle is take all the mats out of their car and use them as traction aids. And when it clearly and obviously almost certainly doesn't work, you just kind of be like, sorry, worth the try.
My favorite
should have had WeatherTech ones. That's one of the ones I used before that worked. And then move on.
My favorite traction aid I've ever used were just some fence slats I had in the back of my van with 2-wheel drive. Like, oh, this will work. Made myself a nice little trail about 40 yards, and those fence slats are still there to this day, I think.
My best traction aid story, I was young and I had a first gen Toyota pickup and I went up snow wheeling, and my dad had this aluminum grain shovel that he had bought for stealing sawdust for something, the garden or something. He always was taking sawdust home, and it also made a great snow shovel, but it was kind of expensive. It was aluminum and my dad really liked it. We didn't have a ton of money kind of thing, so this is kind of a splurge for him. I got stuck in the ditch at some point, and I thought, I'll just stick this shovel under there sideways and use it. Well, it's aluminum. I didn't really think about it. I was a young, dumb kid, and it just made it the shape of my tire. It was rounded flat on the bottom, so it wouldn't scoop. And then, of course, my dad was mad. We called it the traction shovel from then on out. So it was a dual-purpose shovel.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's awesome.
Well, anyway, that's what I had to chat about. Just dumb truck stuff.
Oh, speaking of truck stuff, Coy, do you want to go over like what rig you're running real quick?
I can. I have a 2010 FJ Cruiser. It's a Trails Team model. And for those that don't know, that means the roof isn't white. It's just the same color as the truck, which adds quite a bit of off-road prowess, like not having a white roof, in my opinion. So, and then I got a long travel rear, extended travel front, 35-inch tires, ham radio, I don't know, bunch of odds and ends, suspension components, reflash computer, bunch of dumb camping stuff, lots of recovery gear.
I forgot.
Nothing super special.
I've got another ham radio in the mail, so I can talk to nobody again. It was cheaper to buy a Baofeng. It was cheaper to buy a Baofeng to play around with than to buy a replacement battery for my Yaesu. Like, this is stupid,
bro. Come on, you bought a Baofeng instead of replacement battery for your Yaesu.
I mean, I'll get around to the replacement battery eventually, but yeah.
It was cheaper to buy a High Point than a new barrel for my AR, is what you just said to me. That's what I heard.
It's cheaper to buy a freaking PSA dagger than a High Point now, almost. You can buy it like a stack.
That's true.
Well, have fun with your Baofeng.
I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to look at it for a while and then probably buy the battery for my Yaesu, and then maybe eventually push the transmit button and talk to I have my license, use it maybe for once, but that would require effort.
Have you downloaded like the repeater book app so you can get on the repeaters?
I know all my local repeaters, and I'll listen into them occasionally, but
okay.
I have not yet brought myself to the point of transmitting so that I can talk to somebody about their gout.
Oh, well, get on
as much as that,
get on the air and drop a lot of like copy that and 410s and things like that. The ham guys love it when you use
410, good buddy.
Yeah, they really like it. They'll welcome you.
As much as it's a stereotype, though, about ham radio being full of old men who talk about their health problems, stereotypes exist for a reason, people. Because that's all these people fucking talk about is their health problems. It's like, I don't want to break into this conversation at all.
I do not have my ham license, but I use my Baofangs to listen to the local storm watchers because I live in Oklahoma and that's a thing. And whenever the storms get bad, the digital doesn't seem to work real well, so they go back to the ham bands. And I listen to the local sheriff's department watch the storms at night, which is actually really useful because they're about 20 minutes ahead of like the emergency alert system.
Yeah.
There's other parts of America where the air doesn't try and kill you. They're like completely habitable.
That seems sus.
Weird flex, but whatever. Yeah.
Nice. Well, have you guys heard of On Point Adventure Foods?
Because of you, yes.
Oh, good. Sharing knowledge already.
That's about it.
No, I was dicking around on a Facebook group the other day, and somebody mentioned that, and I was like, I've never heard of them. So I went to them, and I'll be damned. They have a lot of candy that is freeze dried. That was a big thing for my fat ass, but
well,
no,
the rest of it's like, oh, I can get that in a peak refuel. Ooh, freeze dried.
Yeah, but the thing about On Point is, all their prices and shit are like super simple. Like all the meals, $15. Most of the snacks are $3. And you just you get what you get. They have strawberries. They have like biscuits and gravy, because that's a big one now. Skittles, candy corn. They have freeze dried fucking candy corn. They have all. If you're a candy corn guy, they have freeze dried air sticks, is what they call it, but they're actually just cut up airheads. I
see. That's my favorite part, is where they're like using slightly changed language so they don't get so they can try and avoid problems with the actual manufacturers of the candy, because they're freeze drying them and then selling them freeze dried.
Mm-hmm.
But like air sticks or the chocolate
space clusters
or whatever.
The space clusters, I think, look suspicious like freeze dried nerd ropes.
Hey Dave.
But
I think there was fruit roll-ups.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But it was called something else.
Fruit rolls.
Fruit rolls, yeah.
Hey Dave.
Yeah.
Did you take a look at the gummy bears? Do they look like burn victims to you?
Yeah, those are just gummy bears.
Those gummy bears.
Yeah, the freeze-dried gummy bears look like burn victims.
Those are called the Paul Walker gummies, I believe.
Yeah. That are like so this is some like Nagasaki shit here. Like they got like weird bubbles coming out of them, and they're just kind of like these vague deformed shapes. That's rad.
Yeah, but no, I just thought they were interesting. They're based out of Somerset, Pennsylvania, and everything is American made. There's no artificials or preservatives or anything like that. But
they border and import it.
Hell yeah, border. But no, that was one thing that I kind of wanted to touch on for a little bit. Oh, I shot a coyote the other night.
Well, hang on. Before we move on to your coyote, I mentioned this off air, but I'll mention it again, which is, I think it's fun. There's another brand on Instagram I've seen, probably smaller than this even, called Monkey Meals, where all of their, again, same pretty much like menu variety going on, but all theirs are labeled not for human consumption. So I'm kind of sad that these aren't labeled like that.
Just to avoid all those pesky laws.
Oh yeah, like hey, it's dude, I'm just selling rat food. Like, what do you want from me?
That's the prepperiest thing I've ever heard. Where you're like, hey, it's not for human consumption, but in the bad situation, still. So that's like the fish antibiotics of food. Where you're like, hey, I stockpiled a bunch of medicine. It's for fish, but I'm going to use it for people later.
Hey, you think that's bad? So in a lot of states, consuming raw milk is illegal. Like if somebody has a cow and they just milk it and they sell it to you, like you're not allowed to buy it from them with the intent to consume it yourself. You can buy it to feed it to your other livestock, but you can't buy it to consume it yourself.
Well, I didn't intend on consuming it when I bought it, but then I got thirsty and or I wanted breakfast.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
raw milk is actually pretty good. We got some friends of ours got some, and we're actually freeze drying some right now. It is in the freeze dryer. We're probably going to take it out in the morning.
Wait, they freeze dried raw milk?
No, we are freeze drying the raw milk. They have the cow, and they gave us some milk.
It goes straight from the udder to the pan.
I like raw milk, but the cow always steps on my shoulder when I'm drinking it, and it's super painful, so I hardly ever do.
We were talking about suppressors before the show, but the real flex is Vince's freeze dryer that he has.
Mm-hmm. I've got biscuits and gravy going right now too.
My mother-in-law bought a freeze dryer, and I was super excited, and she was making stuff, and I was kind of waiting for her to get tired of it so it could live at my house. And then, like 2 months goes by, and I'm like, hey, what's up with the freeze dryer? Me? And she's like, yeah, I sold it. She had it for like 4 months. I was like, what? You should have offered it to me. Have you guys had freeze-dried blueberries yet?
Yep. We haven't done blueberries. We've done bananas, apples. What else? Oh, the surprise.
The knife biggest and stab all the holes in it.
You slice it up. Anyway, the biggest surprise, we freeze-dried onions. But my son's like, hey, Dad. He's 9. Okay, he's like, hey, Dad, what if we just cut some rings and freeze-dry them, and it'd be like Funyuns? And I'm like, oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I sliced it up and just put some seasoned salt on it, and I'll be damned, it comes out and it tastes just about like onion rings, or not onion rings. I'm sorry, Funyuns, goddamn Funyuns, and then I looked up the ingredients in Funyuns, and the reason they're yellow is because there's cumin in them, and I think the next time I'm going to marinate them in cumin.
Somebody's
and
cumin in
salt.
the onion rings.
Cumin and you know, there's a spice called cumin. Shut up.
I'm American, not Indian. I didn't know.
Don't be gay. Don't be super gay over there.
See, Vince,
I watched the smile grow.
This is the kind of crap I have to deal with hunting beaver, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're like, just shut up. I'm trying to talk here."
Cumin. Yeah. It's literally spelled "come in," so damn it.
Yes, we know.
Anyway, so that was a fun one. We made Funyuns, like freeze-dried onion rings.
Was a fun one.
It was a fun one. It was they're tasty, and they taste like freaking onion. Like they taste like Funyuns. Like
what
I want you to try this for me, because it's not mine and it requires zero work on my end. So
right.
And do those onion rings, but put like some caramel and chocolate and some brown sugar on it and freeze dried them, and they're going to taste amazing.
Maybe apples.
No, I promise. I actually won a Overland Cook competition, and they had a secret ingredient you had to use, which was onions, and I made onion rings. I rolled them in brown sugar and then drizzled them in caramel and chocolate, and it tastes like apples. Your brain just switches it. It was nuts.
What kind of
shit?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's going to taste good.
Chocolate doesn't freeze dry very well, actually. Chocolate freeze dries is weird. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna push it to Sam. And what kind of onions was it?
Yeah, what kind of onions?
I don't know.
For koi.
I was actually
why
for both of you, but
sorry, the ones I used in the competition or the ones he freeze dried?
Either or.
Yes.
It's been a long time. I'm gonna assume it was like Walla Walla Sweets, since I was in Washington.
Because those are the best onions in the world. I could eat Walla Walla Sweets raw.
I'm gonna have to ask.
I eat them raw, like most people do, but I wouldn't eat it like an apple.
Oh raw. No, like apple raw. If we won't make it up far enough to grab a sack of them. Previous couple of years, my mother-in-law is
buy them at the store.
Believe it or not, they don't rotate down here all that often, and you got to go to freaking Costco to get them. My mother-in-law is from Walla Walla, so the last couple of years we did a road trip all the way up there with my wife, and not with my mother-in-law, but just wife and kids, because murder is frowned upon. And then we brought back the big sacks, and so you cook up a burger and cut like a nice half-inch slice of Walla Walla onion to throw there. Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah,
I actually don't know what kind I used because I got them from a coworker who wandered into work and was like, "Hey, kids were selling these for a fundraiser, and I bought some, and then I got home and my wife also bought some, so I have no use for these." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take some onions."
You
fucking A.
weird. That's some weird fundraisers down there in Oklahoma.
Were those also labeled not fit for human consumption? Monsanto was like, wow, people can't eat these. Let's sell them in this fundraiser.
Hey, you know, some of that stuff, like Blue Gold sausage is fantastic.
Oh my God.
It's like the time
I will attest to that.
Oh my God. I walked into I don't remember what store it was, but it was one of those fundraiser type deals, and they were selling these like oatmeal protein cookie things. And they gave me a sample. I was like, oh, those taste really good. How much are they per? And they wanted like $3 per. I was like, okay, that was tasty. I'll buy like, I think I bought like 4 of them. Well, the next day, I go to bite into one, and I look at the inside, and like, this tastes kind of weird. And I look at the inside of it, and it's like the whole inside of that freaking oatmeal cookie was just laced with mold.
So you got your penicillin intake.
Yeah, so when he's talking about, Monsanto's like, ooh, give these to a fundraiser. Somewhere out there, some company donated a whole pile of these things to sell for charity. And they were all 4 of them were just loaded with mold. It's like, oh, son of a bitch.
What state do you live in again?
Colorado.
See, also like Oregon, are you sure it was mold? Or could you have about had the next 12 to 27 hours highest you've ever been because they were edibles? Like you
I know it was mold because in the sample piece it wasn't evident in taste, but it was evident in the next 12 hours spent on the toilet. I have never had food poisoning before that, and I haven't had it since, but son of a bitch, everybody who ate that sample went home that night just...
Does mold give you the runs? That's the thing.
It did me, at least.
Every time I have like a gas station sandwich and I taste some mold, I try to power through in case it's just like a little spot, and they're like $12 when you buy a sandwich there, so I can't throw it away. So I always just kind of pretend that the first bite of mold didn't happen in case it was just one random speck.
Well, that's what I was trying to convince myself as I was chewing that first bite, going, is this just some kind of weird texture in the middle? Like, it's like, no, it turned out to be mold. That's Dave. I probably told this story. Coming back up from coyote hunting and prairie dog hunting with you last year, I stopped and got a gas station pizza, and yeah, that one got to me about 2 hours later, big time. I was like, Sean, pull over.
Yep.
Give me your sock.
Do you have any sleeves that you want to get rid
of? That's a power move to demand another man's sock. Usually I use my own in emergencies, but just be like, that's like a prison. It's like a give me your sneakers in prison. Like,
yeah, hold my pocket.
No, it was Lamar. Lamar got me.
Where'd you guys stop in Lamar that you got the old fart bar from?
I don't remember. Gas station nearby. Is the McDonald's in La Junta or Lamar?
Both.
Oh shit! I don't remember which one. Then. If I passed the gas station, I don't remember which gas station. I remembered which one it was down the way to Texas.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah. So in other news, shot a coyote the other night, and I used a dog as bait. Not really as bait, but like my father-in-law has this Great Pyrenees mixed with some mostly mutt, and it goes ape shit every night. And so one night it was going ape shit, and I was like, just get the spotlight out. So I did, and sure as shit, I see eyes, and I'm like, oh, no way. And so I watch it for a little bit, and it's coming towards us, like coming towards the house. I'm like, huh, well. So I scamper back on up to the pickup, grab the old trusty AR-15, and I haul ass down to this fucking fence post, and I sit up on the fence post, and I'm watching this fucking dog come in, and it's coming in. Like there's a fucking big ass dog out here barking like non fucking stop, and you're this beating feet this way. And I'm like, okay, well, it was starting to cut across to the north of me, so I was like, well, I think there's another fence post up there. So I shine my spotlight. Sure shit, there's another fence post. So I haul ass up there, get set up on there, and I can't find this fucking coyote. Like, God damn it. And then finally find it. It's like 200 yards away. I had busted it while I was running up to this other fence post. And dog's barking. Like the entire fucking time this dog is barking. And finally the coyote starts coming back a little bit. And this coyote hangs up at like 250. So then I just start kissing at it. Just kind of shit, you know. And I'll be damned if that fucker didn't hit a wheel track of a tractor and make a beeline towards me. And I'm like, oh, this is working out like the most perfectly I have ever seen. Stops at 95 yards, and it is unalived. So, it's been a while since I kissed in a coyote, but it was a good time having the dog out there. Once I shot, all the rest of the dogs just blew the fuck up. There's one dog that's barking, two other dogs that are doing not a fucking thing until I shoot, and then all hell breaks loose. They're attacking this fucking coyote as I'm dragging it. I'm like, would you get the fuck off? I kind of wanted to skin this thing. Then I get it in the light, and it has like the tail of an African lion, like where it's all nice and bald, and then just a poof of hair at the end. It's just started getting mange. I'm like, no, not going to do that. But it did feel good to shoot a coyote in fucking May. So,
do you guys have like a season for coyotes out there?
Technically, we have a season, but it's all year, and there's no bag limit. So they can take the season away if they want to, but you can shoot as many coyotes whenever you want.
Just when you said in May, like that was an odd time for it. Is there like a premium coyote hunting time out there?
They're starting to slow down with the calling, so it's not like calling winter coyotes, where if you're out there calling, I mean, you'll call 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in. It May, I think this is the first coyote I've ever shot in May, especially one that I've called in. I mean, I might have shot some just like driving down the road. I wasn't driving. I stopped and got out, of course. But, no, I've never called.
Have you shot more than you've ran over?
Yes, I have shot more than I have ran over because I was tired of tearing up my pickup.
I find it more satisfying. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
You get 2 hits every time. Thump, thump.
I'm always impressed with the burst of speed they can put on between the time when their body leaves your line of sight under the edge of your hood versus where your tire's at, which has to be 2.5 feet. They can really put on some moves in that short span.
My pickup's got 99 problems, but we got the coyote. That is what I lived by for the early part of my teens and 20s. But no,
coyote at any cost.
Yeah, yes. If we're hunting anything, we see a coyote, it turns into a coyote hunt.
Dave finally pulled his bighorn sheep tag in Colorado. He's like, oh shit, never mind, coyote.
Do you guys have nutria out there?
I think Sam. Oh, you don't have nutria, do you? You have muskrat.
We have muskrat. I don't have. We don't really have nutria here.
Yeah,
at all. I don't believe.
There's a lot of them out here in the Pacific Northwest. They're an invasive species. They're very muskrat-like, just giant. They're like a rabbit that swims with a rat tail. And I have a canal on the edge of my property, and then I have a bridge, and they like to burrow in the bank. I don't really mind these creatures so much. They're peaceful. They don't really cause any harm to me. but they like to dig or burrow around my bridge abutments. And I'm just like, you got miles of creek, but I have to kill you now. Like this is the line.
Uh-huh.
And I thought you can eradicate them from your property area, but like I said, they're like rabbits, like they reproduce like crazy. So the other day,
I'll just follow that creek.
The other day I saw one. I'm like, I gotta get you. So I walked down there in the evening. He's in the creek, bust out the 17, pop that thing, and now allegedly this is an alternate ending to this story that could have happened, but it didn't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
After I shot it, started flopping around, and instead of rat tail, it had a huge flat tail that was smashing the water and death spiraling. But as it is, beavers' heads look really similar to nutria's heads from a distance.
That's because it's a nutria that got its tail ran over.
Yeah,
exactly.
Allegedly, this is like an alternate ending story, like just a.
So alternate ending, it got its tail ran over. Got it.
Yes,
that's for your book.
Yes, yeah. That's a credit scene kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't have nutria. We do have muskrat, and then we have plenty of beaver if you can get to them. We have lots and lots of beaver on private property, but not a whole lot. I mean, there's plenty on public land too, but it feels like every spot I scope out on Onyx, it's like, oh, that's on private. That's on private. Because in Colorado, with water being a relatively scarce resource, if there is a stream going through the mountains, there's an 80% chance it's somebody's private property with a bunch of national forest all around it on both sides. But
nice.
I zapped one here a couple weeks ago, which I still need to get turned into sausage, but now I have to buy a sausage press because my dad broke his, so I can't borrow his anymore.
Oh.
You're turning a beaver into sausage?
Yeah.
So you're stuffing beaver sausage.
There it is.
Do you actually use intestine to stuff the beaver sausage? Okay.
No, that's how you get giardia. That's how you get the old beaver fever.
Not gonna lie, that was probably one of the most eloquent beaver jokes.
That was a good one. That was a lot better than what I normally hear, which is just like, he said beaver.
You eat beaver.
Like, just shut up, dude. Like, that one was at least had some thought and some intelligence put into it. So that was a good one. I approve of that one. No, I'm gonna turn it into, you know what,
it's like the Ouroboros of beaver jokes.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna turn it more of like a bratwurst type sausage. It should turn out pretty good. They don't taste bad at all. My wife just can't get over the fact that it's a giant river rodent. She will eat the roadkill deer that tastes to me like complete ass, and be like, "Oh yeah, it tastes fine," but then she just can't get over the beaver thing.
Bro, is this a her thing or is this a provider thing? Like you're giving her roadkill deer?
I give her roadkill deer, yeah.
That was his first harvest.
No,
that's how he's on this podcast.
I don't
actually.
I think the word is scavenge, not heart. I'm not a biologist, but there's like scavengers and hunters. Like in animals, they're pretty different.
Do you want to hear the abbreviated story of the roadkill deer?
By all means.
Did you kill it by hitting it with your vehicle?
Oh yeah. Chevy Express, 45 miles an hour. This little spike buck comes running out of the scrub oak. I hit 3 deer within the space of 3 fucking weeks, all in the same way. They all came running out of the left hand. Well, one of them came around the right hand side, out of the scrub oak in July, where that stuff's really flat, we're really leafed out. Barely get time to get on the brakes before bam. Well, this one came out of the left hand side, went into the front of the grill of the van, bounced out and rolled off down the side. Like, oh, son of a bitch, I hit a deer. And this is like 2 days before I'm supposed to go on vacation. It's like, son of a bitch. And I was only going to work to take care of some stupid little thing. So I pull over or whatever. I go check on the deer and it's deader than a doornail. I'm like, all right, well, fine. And so I'm waiting around on AAA and I get this wild hair at my butt. Like, I should take the roadkill home. Yeah, that's cool. I asked Dave and I think I asked Mike, like, hey, like, you know, we're good to take roadkill home, right? And like, oh yeah, cool. So I drug its ass 100 yards back to where I parked the van. And I skinned this fucking deer. Never skinned a deer in my life. On the side, not skinned, gutted. I skinned it at home. Yeah, field dressed it on the side of the road with a fucking utility knife and my multi-tool. And got halfway through, It's like, oh shit, the guts aren't coming out. The guts aren't coming out. And then Panic called like Sean and a bunch of other people in the We Like Shooting group. I think I just put it was when their group was on Signal. I just put a call out to the whole group like, I need help. The freaking guts won't come out of this damn thing. It's because I forgot to cut the esophagus out, but got a whole face blast full of gut gas because I nicked the gut on the way down. And then that damn fucking deer sits in the back of my van for like 3 hours because AAA was overwhelmed and couldn't get to me on time. So I got it home, and it's actually not bad. I cut away anything that was turning brown. The back straps, tenderloins were delicious. The flank meat on it, I think, tastes like ass, but my wife's like, oh, no, it tastes fine to me. So, yeah, that's my roadkill deer. And only after I lugged it in the back of the van did I realize that thing was covered in fucking ticks.
They're all covered in ticks.
Yeah, but still. It's like, oh, great. Now my van's full of ticks. Lovely.
So that's when he discovered that he wanted to get into hunting. Sorry, Vince. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Before that. And that's why I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity to learn because I can field dress this free deer on the side of the road.
Go ahead.
Coy, do you do any hunting?
Not like you guys. I am more of a harvester. I have a father-in-law that has some land. I don't know if you guys have landowner preference points there, but first amount of acres you basically get. You don't have to go into the draw system here.
Yeah.
So either me or my wife will shoot one out of there, and it's pretty much a sure thing doe. You just take a nap in the tree line of this big grass field, and then when you wake up, shoot a deer. So I do that. I've gone elk hunting several times. Never gotten one, but I'm not trying that hard because I'm fat and walking through the woods to where the elk are is it makes all this like water come out of my pores. It makes me uncomfortable.
You should get that looked at.
Yeah, so I'd like to drive around more, and your odds of shooting one from your vehicle are much smaller.
Yeah, they definitely are. But it's also a lot more comfortable to have a nice elk camp set up that way.
Then I have a lot of I shouldn't say a lot. I have like 16 acres, and like I said, I have the nutria, and there's coyotes out here, and squirrels, and other animals that like to fly in and eat chickens, and then I have to defend my area.
Defend your flock.
Yeah. Which is enjoyable. And I love guns, so of course I have guns.
That's how I shot my first coyote, was defending a bunch of chickens, and I was in my underwear at the time, but it all worked out. I also couldn't see my target and may have been blind firing in the general direction.
It might have also been coming right for him.
Could have.
It was going right for the chickens.
I don't know how your guys' draw system works, but in Oregon, you got to put in for these different hunts to draw. Like there's an elk series and a doe deer and Western Oregon buck and all these different ones. And then of course they charge you $8 for each one that you want to put a draw in for. Every year that you don't get your hunt, you get a point, and the more points you have, the higher chance you get of drawing that hunt the next year. So I've been building up.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's just a money thing, but I've been building up some points here, so I'm gonna have some good hunts coming up pretty soon, I hope. But nice. This year I did a couple point savers, and for elk I put into like trophy hunts where you have to have like 20 years worth of points to get any, like, I mean, there's a 0.025 chance I could draw it, and I will drop all plans to go do this hunt if I do draw it, because it's kind of basically once in a lifetime thing. But
yeah,
a couple more years here, I think I'm at 8 or 9 points for elk now, so I've built up a pretty good chunk.
Shit, yeah. Nice. Oklahoma's kind of a mix of the southeastern and also the western, because there's specific locations where it's like you put in for the controlled hunts, but those are small individual locations, and then you have your statewide tags that you can go onto private land or public land that's open to it and harvest those if you want. So it's a little different.
Yeah, we have general season as well, but it'll be, for elk, it's like a general season. You can get a spike is all you're allowed to shoot, and then general season is buck only for deer usually. So you can general season, your chances are just a lot smaller of actually getting something.
Yeah. General season here is like you have 6 tags. They can all be does, and you can harvest them all with archery, or you can do some rifle and some muzzleloader.
Oh, do you guys have the like shotgun only or the straight case ammo stuff?
No, that's well, some do. Like some other states do. Here it is primitive firearm. Or no, hold on. No, it's muzzleloader. It's specifically muzzleloader. It's not primitive
I
firearm.
wish it would have said primitive firearm because I'd had one of those brass Gatling with the wagon wheels. And I'm like, hey, it's printed.
No, some states, I forget which ones, their primitive firearm season is based on age of cartridge design and when it was last produced. So like my 6.5 by 5.4 Mannlicher Schonauer cartridge could be used in primitive firearm season. But that's a bottleneck cartridge shooting a 160 grain soft nose bullet. And
so, all jokes aside, do you have a Mannlicher or a Mannlicher? We'll accent it to make it sound better.
Yes, but it's been circumcised.
Oh. I'm out. Go lick someone else's man.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
We should like the sound of them.
I heard Mannlicher and I was like, gay.
Well, if you had to pick one, circumcised would be better. I don't know.
So wait, is it like a sporterized 1895 or?
It's a sporterized Breda 1914 Austrian surplus rifle. There's a lot of history there.
That's a goofy looking one.
It's like
if it was a oh yeah, I see that. Okay. If it was like, the 1895 straight pull, but
no, these are actually really nice because mine has the flip away rear peep sight that installs into the bolt release. So it's a split bridge receiver, so it's a straight bolt and it's a split bridge rear receiver, so you can't mount a sight back there or a scope rail, but it has a spring-loaded peep sight that attaches to the bolt release. So, if you want to remove the bolt from the rifle, you push the button and take it out, but the peep sight installs there, and so every time you rack the bolt, it flips the peep sight out of the way, and then it flips it back out of the way, and it just springs back into location every single time. I've actually killed a whitetail with that one, which was a fun experience. But
nice. Anyway, sorry, digressions.
I wish they'd go to like some kind of primitive or straight wall cartridge only out here for some, like just one area, because then I would draw that, and then I'd tell my wife like I have to buy a 4570. I didn't want to, but I have to buy God's chosen caliber now. So
now here it's muzzleloader, which you can hunt with your archery stuff during muzzleloader season, but you can also hunt with crossbows. And at this point, I prefer the crossbow.
Yeah, there's no crossbow out here. There's quite a bit of muzzleloader. I'm not sure if you can hunt archery during muzzleloader out here. But it would be cool if you could hunt muzzleloader in archery, because I would do it just to piss off archery hunters. It'd be hilarious.
So the way Colorado works, well, real quick, the way Colorado works is archery's first, and then there's muzzleloader, and then there's rifle. But if you have an archery tag, you can hunt with archery in between those seasons. So you can hunt like archery after muzzleloader, the break between muzzleloader and rifle, and then in between the rifle seasons, you can hunt with archery in some units.
Are you guys allowed to hunt suppressed out there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. That's another reason why I need to get a suppressor. I like that at least in Oregon, we can hunt with well, I shouldn't say you're not. There's just no law mentioning a suppressor either way, which makes it legal. But you're not allowed to have batteries on your gun, and that includes your optics. Yeah. So you're technically not allowed to shoot with like lit reticles or a red dot, which seems dumb.
Ours isn't batteries, it's microprocessors. So I got into it I didn't get into it. I was talking to a fish cop, and he said that illuminated reticles are fine, range finding scopes were not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
That makes sense, but that law's been around like as long as I can remember, and I feel like range finding scopes haven't been around that long. But if that's how I mean, there's a battery in mine. Like, I'm not gonna. Who cares?
Ours just says lasers aren't okay.
Yeah, we're not allowed to hunt. We're not allowed to hunt. Like, I really want to hunt beaver with night vision, but they won't let me.
I think range finding optics is okay here. I think. I would have to look that up, but I haven't read anything that says no, that's not okay. But
I like the idea of hunting with a laser, but I feel like it would burn a lot of the good meat. So
it's just pre-cooked.
You just flash steam the entire chest cavity with all the internal organs. No problem.
If you use a laser arrow, it'll come pre-packaged too, and cut.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's the dead silence.
Yeah, Dave disappeared. Startled me. I didn't know what was happening. I would like a laser.
I actually thought all of you froze, but I think we all just kind of froze at the same time. Like, what happened? Somebody moved, damn it.
Have you seen the Bluetooth arrows that you can track or whatever?
I could use one of those.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the Illuminoc.
Yeah, I guess they make like a Bluetooth one now, which I think would be awesome because then if it ran away, you would only have like a 25-foot range, but you could just be walking around the woods with your cell phone looking for Bluetooth, close,
I have missed
that, but
I've missed, and it's going downhill, so I can just hear the arrow going through brush and shit 100 yards away because it's arcing downhill and it's not hitting anything substantial. I'm like, well, I'm never finding that one.
There goes $58.
Oh yeah, one of my 15 big ass broadheads is sitting somewhere up there in the mountains because it's gone. Spent an hour looking for the damn thing, couldn't find it. Yep, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's better than having 3 broadheads buried in trees, knowing exactly where they are. But
you gotta carry a little hatchet with you, man. It makes you a mountain man, and then you can just chop it out. Plus, then if you come upon a bear, you can kill it the manly way.
So anyway, Coy, this is your first time on the show, and I have some questions for you.
Oh no!
Yeah. I've been waiting for this.
Oh, there's Dave.
Glad I'm completely unprepared. Let's do it though.
All right, just a couple questions. First of all, sir, what is your dream hunt?
My dream hunt. Ooh, this is a tough one because I just found out about this camel thing, and depending on how we did that, that's. I can buy food anywhere, and yes, the deer you get's better, and it's cool to make your own summer sausage. But just eviscerating hundreds of camels a day for 7 days, that sounds empowering. But I've always wanted to kill a bear as well. That's just kind of like this manly thing where you're yeah, I got a bear. You got the bear skin rug. That's. I feel like it's something.
Once in a lifetime bear or endless camel murder.
But the other one that I've since I've young said I've wanted to do, and I don't even remember what town it is, but Petey used to go nuts over it up in Canada or someplace somewhere. Remember how they would just eviscerate seals? They just go out on the ice and just club seals. And there'd be just piles of seals. I want to do that. It makes me a serial killer. I know. And it would be, I'm not going to lie, it would be incredibly difficult for me when the seal's looking at you with those big, innocent looking eyes. And then I'm not shooting it. I have to physically just blast that thing with a club. It's going to be tough. But after the third or fourth one, I feel like I would have powered past the gag reflex part of it and I'd just be full in. And then I'd get my picture of me with that mountain of seals, and I'm sitting there with my club. And it really gives you a certain amount of clout for the rest of your life. Like, not a lot of guys are like, yeah, I killed 73 seals. Anytime you're at the hunting club or you're, anywhere where people talk about hunts, the seal clubbing one, like everybody would, I'm not saying they would respect you for it, but they would definitely look at you different. And there would be a little bit of this guy's willing to slaughter seals. And then when you're an old guy and you have that, obviously I'm going to have that done on like a canvas, maybe 48 by 34 or something on the wall. Huge. No kids walking in my lawn in 2000 and I don't know how old am I, 40 years from now. So 2064, I'm the 80-year-old guy with a mountain of dead seals and a picture on the wall. No kid in the neighborhood's cutting across the corner of my yard. So I feel like the long-term rewards
I like it.
Would go. I'm going to go with a seal hunt.
73 water camels.
Water camels. Water puppies.
You just paint the side of your FJ with one little baby seal for every one that you clubbed.
You just have like a little seal poking its head up with a line through it, like fighter pilot style.
Yeah.
On the fender. I like that.
Like that cute little vision, with their little head and the big eyes, and just like chunk.
And also, like, where do you go from there, though? Like, is there any hunt that even interests you after that? Like,
I've got one that I don't want to. I'm one of these days. I'm hoping someone will say it, but I'm just going to spoil it. I want somebody to want to go along on a Japanese research mission for the whales.
Oh,
that one might. I'm not sure it's going to cap the seals, but it's in the same genre. Like, ooh, nice.
I mean, the whale one's cool, but technically, on open water, couldn't you hunt the anti-whaling boats? Like, they're attacking the other boats. Could you be like a pro, the opposite of them?
Oh, they shot the stinky butter.
Yeah, they've attacked that ship, and then I would get to attack the whale eco people. Obviously, with real weapons, like
not their sandals and granola.
Yeah. Oh no, they shot flip flops at me. Hand me the grenade launcher.
Well, you need to use their own tactics against them and pretend to be shot, so they can make a nice TV episode, and then that'll give you your cautious belly just to go out.
They wouldn't have to pretend.
Yeah, today we're using the 800 caliber subaquatic gas propelled projectiles to hunt the anti-whaling vessels.
I've actually just found out
about a torpedo,
about a weapon, and I want to say it's a KS-23. It was a Russian shotgun.
Ooh. Oh yeah,
23 millimeter artillery.
Yep.
Piece, and according to the internet, it was for less than lethal prison riot type stuff mostly. And then when you read all the rounds for it, it's like armor piercing, shrapnel. There's like 2 or 3 rounds that actually sound like you might not kill you if you got lucky. The rest sound just violent and horrible. So it's Russian version of less than lethal.
These are the same guys who consider it a win to gas the entire movie theater, kill half of the hostages. So like, no, that's totally good. Like, oh, I would do bad things for one of those. Like Graham had it on a video, and I was like, son of a bitch, I would kill someone for those.
If we could pick up something like that, and I could just load it full of those little needles, flechettes or whatever they're called.
Flechettes.
Flechettes, yeah. Just load it full of those. It's like a modern pirate blunderbuss that I could shoot at the whale saving people. That'd probably be my best hunt.
Well, that was the thing I was thinking. I mean, if you're with the Japanese doing that, though, you need to do the Japanese thing, which is to sink the ship first and then shoot the survivors in the water.
Yeah, but what if they ram you and sink your ship before you drown? You have to kill yourself. So that would suck. Like, high risk, high reward, I guess.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Then capture them, put them in the hold, and then as the ship is sinking, throw grenades in there, and then kill them. Whatever. But I mean, if you're gonna do it the Jap, you gotta go all the way.
If we're going that way too, I would say like a Chernobyl hunt would be cool to get like a 4-antler deer or something. That I could do that as well.
I want to go fishing in Chernobyl.
There's no deer, unfortunately. There's just a few lost Russian conscripts to kill.
The deer tries to eat you. Yeah. Why does the deer have such large canines?
In Soviet Russia.
You'll think about the deer?
And just like that, this turned into a Wendigo hunt. Son of a bitch. All right, Vince, next question.
All right, yeah, moving on. Okay, so what would you call your biggest win so far while out hunting?
My biggest win while hunting. That's a pretty broad question because I'm not that good of a hunter, to be totally honest.
The nutria?
Mm-hmm. My wife has shot more nutria than me, so I can't say the nutria is my biggest win.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I once ran over 2 raccoon at once. They were in the road. They were in the middle of the road, and I'm not sure what they're doing, but I think they're doing what you think 2 raccoon in the middle of the road are doing. And my buddy drove over them in like a Chevy short wide. And then as soon as he got past them, they both ran opposite directions. And I had a Jetta, and I nailed one with each tire.
Jesus Christ!
hitting animals with each tire. That's the only time that's happened. I was super excited that it happened, but it jarred the vehicle so hard it actually like hurt my wrists. Jettas aren't made for running down small, medium-sized rodents, but I was pretty stoked about that for a long time, and I can't really think of a time I've ever been that happy as immediately. I'm going with the and I feel like I did them a favor because I'm hoping they were doing what I thought they were doing and then immediately died, and that's like they went out how I want to go. Just right at nap time, they're just going out for a smoke and a nap and then gone.
Oh man, that raccoon's post nut clarity was something else.
One with each tire is in the running for show titles as well.
He's laying on the side of the road going, why did I let her talk me into the middle of the road?
It's smooth out here.
All right. Moving on to the next one. You have to go into bear country and you can't carry a rifle for self-defense. What handgun and which caliber are you carrying and why?
Am I like, did I like crash a plane here and I got to get out? Am I hunting this bear? Like I need a little bit more.
You are not hunting the bear. This is for defense. Okay, you're not trying to search and destroy. This is the bear is, there's bears around and you have to defend yourself against a bear with a handgun.
So,
what handgun in what caliber?
Picture that you are a small bald man who high-centered your truck on snow. And you went wandering out in Washington.
Okay.
I don't think it's
and I'm worried. And I didn't. I knew this gun was prepared for me passing through bear country, though. You can. And we're going local for me. We're going to go black bear since that's all I got here. The higher, more likely a cinnamon black, but yeah. Let's see. I think I want to go something high capacity with a decent amount. So I think I'm going to do like a Glock, and I hate Glocks because they're the Camry of guns. Like, I agree that they're the best gun, but they're so boring. But for this particular scenario, I'm going to do a 10 mil Glock, high capacity though. I'm going to get the big gangster, like 30 round mag, but I want it dipped in like tuna oil because that's the safest thing is to get all the bears to come to me so I can kill all of them. Then I know I'm safe.
I like it.
I'm going 10 mil Glock with way too many rounds in the magazine.
There's no such thing as too many rounds in the magazine. Hey Vince, we need a subset.
I want it to be unwieldy.
You're just teacup gripping it, but you're just down here on the drum.
Yeah, I'm actually resting it, but I'm doing like a kneeling rest with the magazine.
We need a subset to this question, or at least a different version of it, which is, all right, you don't have a gun. What are you taking with you? A spear.
A whistle.
I can pick one thing to take with me if it's not a gun.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For
And
you or
not
the
bear
bear?
spray.
And for
Look,
damn it.
problem is, there's too many caveats to this because it's like you can't take a gun and you can't take. It has to be unconventional, but it could be anything else. It could be a sword, a spear.
I'm
Somebody
nearly
slower.
certain that I can't outfight a black bear. Natty, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna level up my body for a short duration. I realize that there is a serious cooldown period with my idea here. I have to win or I'm gonna lose terribly. But yeah, I see the bear. I'm just gonna. I got a huge nose, big old beak on me. And I'll do some research on the amount with my body weight and stuff of what the appropriate level of cocaine I need to fight a bear with me actually not dying of an OD while winning, maybe. So there's a little bit of math involved. I'm gonna have to get some science out, but yeah, it's gonna be a perfect dosage of cocaine.
And then when you're on the crash afterward, the cubs come along and just eat you.
I'm gonna do that Liam Neeson movie where he fights the wolf, where like we're both pretty much whooped, but we've got mutual respect. I'm like leaning on the bear that I beat mostly to death while I'm ODing. If I could bring two things, it would be cocaine and Narcan. So then I could level myself out afterwards and not die. But or I could take a lethal dose as long as I could beat it in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do.
All right, last special question. If you could hunt one dinosaur, what would it be and what would you hunt it with?
4570 is the only gun that's rated to kill a T-Rex. You can check their website. It's a thing.
True.
So, and a T-Rex sure seems like the one to get, but after seeing in like Lost World 2 or 3 the Bronchosaurus or Allosaurus or whatever running from the lava and then dying, and I don't cry in movies, but I was pretty saddened by that. I want to shoot one of those. So
my son cried so fucking hard at that moment in the movie we had to turn it off.
Bro, I felt it. I'm a 38-year-old man, and I know that it's fake. I could feel it in my throat. I'm like, wow, this is getting to me. Like, that's a sad scene. Like, they really made it emotional. So, like in a face your fears thing, because that happened to me, I have to kill whatever that one was now. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be happy about it, but it's for my own personal growth.
I had mixed emotions about that movie because, like, my 4-year-old still thinks, like, Dad, we can't go out in the woods because there's a T-Rex out there. But also, my daughter was really into the dinosaurs eating people. And also, that's a little bit terrifying.
That is unsettling, but kind of cool.
Oh,
it's like, Dad, this movie's great. I'm like, I'm turning this off.
I had a proud dad moment yesterday. Big time. My daughter asked me, Dad, are aliens real? I go, I don't know. What do you think? Are they real? Yeah, I think they're real. Oh, what are you going to do if you meet one? And she, to quote, I think we can pull the meat off its bones and eat it.
Jesus.
I was like, all right, that's interesting, but like, way to go, girl. Yeah. It's time to remind those aliens that it's man that's made in God's image.
I know. Frog legs are all right.
Sorry, aliens. You're outside of God's sight and his love.
Yep, it's time to go 40K on those fuckers. Nope, she said that in the drive home. I was like, that is slightly disturbing, but you know what? I'll roll with it.
Do you let her play Duke Nukem or any, Serious Sam or any?
No, she's had a bit of a strange fascination with like hunting and eating things. Ever since I started getting into it more, especially around when I was trying to trap beaver, I took her with me a couple of times, and I explained to her like, hey, if we trap one, we are gonna have to, kill it, and and so I showed her a couple of videos of like, this is what an animal looks like when it's being skinned, and then I think that just kind of stuck in her brain a little bit. She'll be fine, I think.
It's okay.
All right. Well,
Oh, it's me, huh?
Huh? Oh, I was about to say, do we want to do outro or do we want to hit on Vince's? I mean, Coy, how are you on time?
I'm an hour ahead of you guys, man. Like,
okay,
good.
I just want to make sure because as long as Dave, you're good, I'm good. But
as long as Vince is good, I should be good.
I am. Well, I'm not tired, but I'm also not well.
Yeah.
It's up to you. If you want to save it till next time, we can do that too.
Yep, we can do that.
What do y'all want to hear about?
I want to hear about the rain and if people bitched out and left.
Well, I can get into that, but first, I really do think I need to touch on something. 12 days ago, I lost my youngest son. And so if I'm not around as much or if I'm not talking as much, it's because of that. And I'm just trying to do something normal here today. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to touch on that just real quick. And I'm not going to ignore it. And I'm not going to shy away from it because everything starts and stops with that at this point.
Yeah.
But pushing forward, I just need some normal things. And I did decide after that, a little bit of time had passed. I needed some time to myself. And I did go to Primary Arms Range Day down in Texas. And it was not as much fun as it would have been. One, because I was not in a good mood. And two, because it rained a lot while I was down there. And some people did bitch out and leave. But actually, it was a whole lot of people showed up after that who paid to show, to go there and look around and stuff. And they ended up having like 600 people there. But a whole lot of people had to be pulled out of the mud, including yours truly, because I drove my van because I'm like, hey, it's like 180 miles and I'm going to get better gas mileage. And then I parked out in the pasture and that didn't work out so well.
Your caravan, right? Not your big pimpin'
not
Chevy
the big
van.
The big pimpin' Chevy van might have actually made it out because it has ATs on it. The caravan has road slicks on it, and that don't work no good. But there was actually some pretty cool stuff that I saw there. There wasn't as many exhibitors as I'd like to see at something even that big. And I didn't go to every one because honestly, I was not feeling very curious. I just went and looked around at the ones that I was interested in. Like I didn't go to Troy because like freaking whatever, or Anderson, because I stood there in line and watched 3 of their guns jam for one guy.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's a strong showing.
I wanted to shoot an AK because honestly, I've never shot an AK before, but the only people there who had AKs had brakes on all of them, and none of them were suppressed. And I was like, I don't feel like being a savage today.
Who was there?
And so I'm going to go somewhere else. I don't know, like Nemesis Arms or something.
Gross.
Century?
It was not Century.
No, it's like little boutique shop type things, probably.
Yeah.
And they've got these little tricked out AKs, and they put stupid brakes on them. Yeah.
Yep, there's brakes, and I was like, it was obnoxious standing there. The first booth I actually went up to was Ranger Point Precision, and I did shoot a rifle that the guy calls his obnoxious rifle because it's a 12-inch barreled 44 Magnum lever gun.
Ooh.
Which was actually pretty fun to shoot because I shot that one and then I shot the suppressed version next to it, and it was like, pew. I was like, ooh, that was fun.
You tickled my fancy.
Yeah. I was in. We looked at some stuff and he showed me things that he had there, including like a quick takedown system for a Model 94 Winchester. so that you could break it down real quick and put it in a backpack. Which
why do I have this like crazy love for quick takedown or just any takedown rifle. I don't hike at all. I don't know why I'm so in love with takedown. Is every man this way, or is it like just a me thing? Like, I just love takedown stuff. It's cool when they come apart.
I do like takedown stuff because I can fit it in a small space.
I do too.
Not that I will actually ever do that, but I could.
Yeah, it's like a pack rat thing where I'm like, I could totally be like this lone man in the wilderness with a takedown. I don't know what it is.
That could fit a gun.
Oh shit, there's a bear. Wait, let me get my gun back together real quick. Hang on.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Too many sniper movies where they put the entire gun together, including the scope, but it's super accurate still.
Yeah, I love that when it's and the gun's like it's disguised as a briefcase, and you know the handle
shoots 1 mile,
the front grip, cold. And yeah, learning about guns really does ruin movies for you.
Yep, my wife hates it now.
Most of this was before the rain set in because it actually stormed for like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They grounded the helicopter for a while. The other one that I was really interested in was there was one suppressor company there was two suppressor companies. There was Huxworks, and there was another one that I'd never heard of called anechoic. So the word is like anechoic. So non-echoing is what the word means. I had to look it up because I was like, what is this freaking word? But I shot some of their stuff, and I was actually really impressed with it. They had so they're all they're titanium suppressors, and they're fairly lightweight, but they have an 800 degree temperature rating. And I was trying to figure out how they were getting that because most titanium suppressors have a 500 degree temperature rating. And it turns out that they use stainless steel for the blast chamber and blast baffle. So it can handle a whole lot more initial temperature right there than other titanium suppressors, but they're still lightweight. But I shot their long 223 suppressor on a bolt gun, and it was stupid quiet. Honestly, it was like, pew. It is. I was super impressed with that. I also shot their long 30 caliber suppressor on a Model 94 Winchester, and that was also super cool. And the thing that so shot that one. I also shot their 300 Blackout that they had sitting there, which was of course just stupid quiet, like clicking
with
a
subs
button.
or supers
With subs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was dumb quiet. But the other thing that I really did not need to know about, one, this is the first time I don't know if it was like a staccato or a Wilson Combat. I think it was a staccato. They had a staccato there with their 35 caliber short suppressor on it, and it sounded really nice. And also it shot really well.
Was it a 45?
No, it was a 9mm. Yeah.
I guess could have been a 45 as the suppressor. I mean, it could have been once, but
no. Yeah, I shot that, and it was. I was looking at that like, damn it.
Shouldn't have done that.
I gotta buy a staccato
Like,
in this can.
Okay, because I had shot like the stuff from. I had shot Walther. I'd been to the Walther booth and shot their PDP stuff because I'd heard a whole bunch of stuff about how great the PDP was, but it honestly to me it was just another like double action striker fired pistol. Though they did say. They were making comments about like, yeah, we should make it a rule not to, change around optics right before we go to put the stuff on the line.
You don't say.
I was like, yeah, you're hitting high left. I'm like, I don't know. I'm putting the dot right there, and it's going over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the other thing.
Hang on. How did you like the Huxworks? I have kind of a vested interest. I've been looking at some of their stuff.
I'm going there right now. I shot one thing at the Huxworks booth. I listened to some of their stuff because I think Primary Arms had their the Flow 556K, the little short one on a couple of guns, and it does sound a little bit loud to bystanders, but it's really not bad, honestly. But the one thing that I actually shot at the Huxworks booth was that Genesis 12 gauge AR-15 with the 5 or 6 inch barrel, whatever that thing is. And so now the only fully automatic firearm I've ever shot was a fully automatic 12 gauge.
Nice.
I changed that question about the gun with the bear. I changed it to that one that you just said.
That's an SBR. That doesn't count.
Well, you can make it a pistol.
No cheating. No, that thing, I was unprepared, honestly, to shoot it. The guy's like, yeah, you really need to lean into this and it's going to push you straight back. I'm like, okay. So I did what he said and like lifted my front foot off the ground. Because I stated earlier, I'm like 145 pounds. Like I should not be shooting a full auto 12 gauge.
Leverage.
Yeah.
Leverage, yeah.
Yeah.
Like who? I'm glad it was just 4 rounds. If it had been a full magazine, I would have cut the tent in half. Like
whoops. That's gun buddy material right there, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I felt like your tent needed a skylight or 2.
Yep.
I did that on purpose.
So did you happen to shoot the Huxworks or see the Huxworks Rad 45 suppressor? It's a big pistol suppressor.
No, I didn't because, okay, unfortunately, Huxworks and Anechoic were 2 of the companies that pulled out after it started to rain. And those are like 2 of the ones I wanted to go back and look at again. But after that, I kind of decided, looked around a few times, decided that's where I was done and headed out after that.
Huxworks does a super good discount program on their stuff for like law enforcement and first responders, and they'll do different sales for that discount. So I've seen them have that Rad 45 one for $350 pre-tax stamp. And yeah, if you're like search, I'm not real first responder. I'm on a volunteer search and rescue team, but I still qualify for those discounts somehow. And so
nice.
I think next time they do that sale, I got to pick it up.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice.
Oh, if anyone wants to go look at the Anechoic suppressors, their website is asilencer.com. And they have long versions and short versions of their suppressors, and they're all in the $1,100 to $1,200 range. But I don't know. The 223 sounded really nice. So did the 30 caliber long one. I think the heaviest suppressor they sell is 11 ounces. And the short 35 caliber one on the double stack 1911 9mm was kind of dumb, and I'm mad that I know about it now. But yeah.
Do you know if they sell like bigger cans, like 375 or?
They have
any of those.
They have a 45 and a 45 long. And that's the biggest that they have, but they're all rated the same. So if you go look, they say they're full auto rated, but what that means is that's 50 rounds of 5.56 full auto, and then the rating drops after that.
Yeah,
based on mostly powder capacity of the cartridge you're using. So like on the ones 30 caliber and up, 7.62, not full auto, but rapid fire is like 20 rounds. And then, that's just what I remember off the top of my head. But you won't be able to burn one up with a 5.56 doing normal things is kind of what I took away from it. Though I'm looking at the 45 long, and it's rated up to a 458 Win Mag.
Oh, that changes things. Okay.
Just little.
Yeah, a little bit. 458 Win Mag. Okay. Yeah.
So
it makes me feel way better.
That's one of those cool old rounds where they haven't done a Spitzer bullet for it at all, so it's just still kind of like sending a giant horse pill downrange.
Is 4570 shoot subsonic speeds the standard load? I feel like it does. I mean, I don't have that info in front of me, but
mine sure don't.
Really?
I forget what the FPS are on the loads I make, but
oh, you make drunk atomic loads?
I have some of them that are all right. So I bought my 4570, and this was years ago. This had to be 8 years ago, and the only ammo at the time, yeah, it was 8 years ago because it was election year. Ammo scare was the Hornady lever revolution, whatever.
Oh, the pointy one.
Yeah, those. And I brought that rifle home, and I don't think I got it seated very well the first shot. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. This thing kicks like a fucking mule. And regretted it a little bit. Thinking, man, I better not have just bought a gun that has more recoil that I have fun shooting. But I ended up loading mostly after that 405 grain hardcast lead, and then just stepping that up a little bit. I've got some of those things that, they'll put some hair on your chest.
The Hornady load says it's around 2,000 feet per second, where it's like an older load is 1350.
Yeah, but the Hornadys are actually a little bit lightweight on the bullet weight, so you'll get a higher muzzle velocity.
Yeah, those are 325 grains.
And I think the old, if you measured them, the old standard pressure is in the 23 to 25,000 PSI range because they were made for the 1873 trapdoor Springfield, which cannot handle the higher pressure. But your Marlins and your lever actions, modern ones, can handle 46,000 to 50,000 PSI pretty easily, and that gets you into a different territory.
Well, I think it's Buffalo Bore makes like a 500 grain bullet for those, which I'm sure is uncomfortable to shoot, but that would almost have to be at that subsonic range, which if you put a giant
bullet on there,
could be
really interesting. If you crank the powder down a little bit, those trapdoor loads are the most fun to shoot. I've got a Marlin 18 whatever it is, I can't think of the top of my head right now. I've drank too much beer. Those 45 whatever, Marlin, lever action, boom boom. The trapdoor loads, those are fun to shoot because you get a nice little kick out of them, but you're hucking that giant piece of lead downrange where if you're shooting steel, it hits that steel like a bell, man. Just bong.
Whoa.
I love shooting gongs because
it's and
the gong looks like it's in physical pain. It's an inanimate object, but it's just like, oh, that was
oh my goodness.
Take that.
The Buffalo Bore 500 grain is still generating a muzzle velocity of 1,600 feet per second.
Wow, that's a big heavy slow.
I feel like I need a CT scan of my shoulder just hearing that.
Oof.
But those 325 grain bullets, you can get those things going pretty damn fast, and once they start going fast, at least mine, they kick like a son of a bitch too. So I like 4570. I haven't shot mine in a long time, but I pretty much hand load for it exclusively because buying ammo off the shelf is stupid expensive. Yeah. And I burn through it too fast, especially those trapdoor loads because they're so fun to shoot. It's like, oh, my entire box of 50 I loaded is gone. Lovely. Anyway.
Here's the description. The 500 grain bullet. This bullet is a solid and won't mushroom and thus will penetrate 5 to 6 feet in muscle and bone.
Oh, damn.
So for shooting people from above? like what's the point of it?
Hit the guy underneath. It's when you're in a helicopter.
Yeah,
and you need to get you need to get the sniper on the roof, but also his buddy at the window under him.
Jesus.
I don't remember who makes it. There's somebody out there. Is it a 45-70 round, or am I thinking of some really hot 45 Colt loads where I've seen them before though. The bullet isn't even turned down at all. It's just a solid like cylinder.
Oh, it looks like a pencil eraser just sticking out of the end of the barrel, or I mean, end of the shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to like the Thunder Snub BFR in 4570 government. That's the closest I found. But yeah, it looks like just a pencil eraser coming out the front. I'm not man enough to try those. That thing looks like it hurts like a son of a bitch. But anyway.
Oh gosh, I think I found it.
Oh.
Buffalo Bore 380 grain monometal.
Is it lead or is it a non-lead round?
It's a non-lead round, but oh my god,
so that's not the one I'm thinking of, because the ones I'm thinking of are somebody out there just went full on like how much lead can we possibly get? So that's why it's a cylinder, because that's the maximum amount of lead they can fit in the chamber.
Somebody just went down to Ace Hardware and got a 45 caliber like lead dowel, just like this much. Yeah, they got a keyway and stuck in there.
Anyway,
Jesus. Well, do you want to?
We got to do a review. We have two. Well,
I was about to fucking ask that.
Okay,
if you wanted to,
calm down.
Proceed.
You've been drinking too much Keystone, man.
There's no such thing as too much Keystone.
With you, there's not. So we got 2 reviews in. All right, so we'll go back. Well, taking a step back, because I had mentioned a shameless bribery. We didn't like bribery, and so you said something about Mikeism. I decided Mikery. So it's shameless Mikery, where if anybody leaves us a review and you send an email to letsgohuntpodcast@gmail.com telling me where the review is, because I'm a FUD and I do not search Spotify or Podcast Addict or any of these other weird esoteric podcast listening apps to look for reviews. So if you leave one anywhere other than Apple iTunes, you better tell me where it's at, or I will not find it. I'm putting conditions on this. This is lovely. But if you leave us a review and send us an email with your address, I will mail you a Primo Let's Go Hunt sticker. And they are nice stickers too.
They are primo.
They are really nice. I actually got to email him back because he was asking me last Monday how the stickers are, and I may have forgotten to email him back. But so
do we want to advertise who does our stickers?
Stuck.Customs. Customs.
Fucking A.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, our first sticker recipient will be Mr. Roden, who I am 99% sure had AI write his review, but that's okay. I'll forgive it. Let's Go Hunt podcast is an absolute gem. From expert advice on hunting techniques to captivating stories from the wilderness, each episode is a thrilling adventure. Hosts keep the energy high and the insights sharp, making it a must listen for both seasoned hunters and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Highly recommend tuning it in. That is the most AI written stuff I've ever read.
Well, yeah, clearly he used the word captivating.
Clearly the AI didn't listen to the episode I was on yet, so
clearly the AI hasn't listened to anything yet.
Insightful stories.
Yeah, not quite. And then somebody out there left us a 1-star review, and I would like to say thank you, first of all, for breaking the 5-star streak we had with the 12 reviews, because nobody likes it. Nobody trusts nothing but 5-star reviews. If I see 5-star reviews on something, I go, all right, something's up. So thank you for breaking that streak. And second of all, you didn't actually leave a written review, sir, so there's no sticker for you. I'm sorry. If you go back and amend your review, I will send you a sticker.
You know what hurts the worst is the 3-star review or the 4-star one for me, where
they put thought into it. It's like,
yeah, where they're like,
wrong.
Used to really like this show. It's fallen off 3 stars. I'm like, oh, wow, he means it. This is horrible. The 1 stars were like, you guys suck. It's like, okay, have fun, troll.
Yeah, the 1 star is definitely like somebody listened to it for about 40 seconds. I went, oh God, these guys are idiots. And then, logged out and put 1 star and left. But no, yeah, the 3 stars is that's somebody who's like, they took the time to actually write it down.
They're being honest. It was like,
yeah,
make me think about it.
But indeed, leave us a review somewhere. Shoot us an email saying where you left the review so I can find it. We'll read it out loud on the show, and I will check Spotify and Podcast Addict as well. But if you send an email, it's going to be a lot easier for me to find. And then, send me address. I will promise not to send you butthole candy, but I will send you a sticker.
Excellent.
And that'll do.
Well,
Dave.
Support the sport and take a buddy hunting. Get some trauma training. Search for Let's Go Hunt on YouTube, Reddit at r/Let's Go Hunt podcast. If you haven't yet, please follow us on Instagram. We are shadow banned, so getting follows from listeners is the only way we can grow, and that's how we're cool. Link is available at firearmsradio.net. If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends and family about us. Check the show notes for Initiative 91, the ban on cat hunting in Colorado. Thanks for listening, and let's go hunt.
Man, the music really outran you on that one.
Yeah, it did, because I kind of fucked up.
But well, I forgot to change it. So, Camelback with a flamethrower, American Bagpipe, Whoopie Cushion of Death. I put in kissing in a coyote, water puppy, 1 with each tire, Camry of guns, appropriate level of cocaine.
They're all winners. Like,